Hello everyone, welcome to another Blue Hat SEO series episode. In this episode, we'll be focusing on a new SEO case study that I have published. First of all, this SEO case study is mainly published for helping small and medium level businesses or size businesses, especially from the healthcare industries. Normally, I don't actually call health as an industry, but let's say health related businesses or services or hospitals, doctors, any kinds of clinic actually can benefit from this specific case study that is published in this area. I would like to actually share these things way earlier. This is actually from last month, but lots of things actually are happening inside the agency, outside of the agency. As you know, we have performed the first Holistic SEO Mastermind directly in our country, Kusadasi, Turkey, where I also moved in. That's why my actual background is different, because it takes time to fill a giant villa with the furniture. So we already performed our private, first inclusive and invite-only mastermind. And we had really good people who joined us, like owner of Search Atlas or creator of AdverTools, James Tully Massingers, or CEO and owner of the Cloudway, and many other business people. They were directly here. We had 3 days of mastermind, one for SEO, one for automation, one for business. We also performed a mini conference and 2 different touristic visits. This is actually my way of just announcing it, since it is not announced publicly. It was a private event that we don't promote. Next year too, we will be doing it. And 1 conference in Istanbul, 1 mastermind, private and invite only in Kusadasi every year. We will keep making it. And this was a funny announcement for that. In this specific newsletter, I also announced this new SEO case study and one from this channel already. This was the last Blue Hat SEO video, but this video actually is recorded 1.5 years ago nearly, but I believe it still protects its actual validity. That's why I suggest you to check it. It is a long one, not like a Blue Hat. It is like a mini lecture actually, a mini course, mainly for programmatic SEO. And this one was the other, mainly for the healthcare. Besides that, of course, we keep publishing new success shares from our community. And Iqbal Loti is here, or also our friend Patrick Stolp. Today he also shared directly. He designed a semantic content network, and for a B2B business, he directly has seen this increase in the rankings in a really exponential growth way, and he thanks us, and we thank him as well. There are 14 more success shares that I need to be actually completing this 246 to the 260 success shares in the last 1.5 years, but I don't have time to announce all of them in the social media. Today, I will mainly be focusing on this case study. I will transfer it as a simple video form so that you can actually understand some simple practical checklists that you can always use for local SEO, technical SEO, image or visual related metrics. Then I would like to also focus on the concept of the cost of retrieval and how we can actually evaluate it. Because when I say the cost of retrieval, people usually focus on the technical SEO aspects or the page speed or the page size, but it's not what we actually mean. We mainly mean that actually, according to your source context, the content will be evaluated in a different way. The algorithms or the large language models that will be used on your website, again, will be different. According to the prominence of your website, first they can focus on actual question answering algorithms on your site, or they can focus on topic modeling. So all these specific NLP tasks, they have different type of costs. We will explain that. In the last bottom part here, you will see 4 different websites. As you know, Velzo.com is a case study and success story that I have published way earlier. Adonis Hakim, the owner of the site, actually has been asking me to actually publish something like a case study. The first section, I kept it very simple for people. The last part is slightly more detailed with practical examples of mainly the semantics. So it is a kind of unification of Blue Hat simple step case study along with a small holistic SEO case study with advanced methods as well. There is a simple example of topical map creation here, and also the difference between raw and the processed topical map as well. So the video overall will be around 20 to 25 minutes. So stay with me. Let's do some advanced stuff and also some simple checklists. You can also read the article, of course. So the article actually has been divided into the 3 sections. The first one actually focused on the local businesses mainly. In this section, you will see a simple to-do list, just 12 steps for your local business listings. Some of them are really simple, but some of them have a few nuances. For instance, many businesses, they don't use the question answer sections in their Google business profile. You can actually take all the Reddit articles that are only related to your industry and articles that also take traffic from the Reddit. Then you can use these Reddit threads as questions in your Google business profile. You can also write answers for them. Sometimes these are ranking directly in the people also ask questions, or feature snippets as well. It also helps you to justify your relevance for certain type of aspects. If you're able to use certain n-grams or let's say contextual phrases in these questions and answers in your Google business profile, along with also the reviews or answers to the reviews, it will be really helpful for you to increase your entity relevance to the topic that you are trying to rank for. Another part is the service area. Even if you have an address or physical address, you should always define some service areas for yourself and try to choose the areas that actually you are targeting. You might be a physical address from Turkey for health tourism, but you should still have at least one virtual office from, let's say, Ireland, because you might be getting your clients from there, or you should mark there as your service area directly as much as possible. One of the websites here is actually oscarwiley.com.au, and first time in its history, it actually exceeded the rankings of the OPSM AU, which is the main competitor. But just using the semantics, for the last 2 years, we don't use any links or anything for that. I will also show you another website which uses links too. As you know, we are not against links. We just use different methods according to the different conditions. That's the definition of holistic SEO, anything for ranking. There are some other parts here. Since I have written this article very earlier, I also say here actually activate the messaging for Google Business Profile, but around July, I believe Google actually deactivated it, but still you can use actually Google Chat API to integrate chatting or chat service or customer service to your website by using Google's own Chat API. It will be helpful for doing that. There are many other things here, like using barcodes to get more reviews in your business. Or also one of the other things is that if you have more photos in your business listing, it will be getting more impressions and rankings. You should also try to use EXIF data for these images if you can. And I don't suggest anyone to use the fake reviews. And lately, Google, as you know, they got more aggressive and they can suspend the Google business profiles. It doesn't work to lose your 3 years of Google business listing just because of the fake reviews. But as you know, no one can prove that too, because if you're able to make a Google business profile shut down just based on the fake reviews, you can also do it to your competitor. That's the thing that always actually holds Google back, as long as people don't play with their patience. But sometimes you can try to support yourself if there is also a negative review attack on you. I didn't write it here, but as a non-written suggestion, if people attack your business profile mainly for negative reviews, try to have some 9-level local guide accounts. Thanks to these accounts, you can actually report and remove these negative reviews. If you have an authoritative, high-level experience accounts in your let's say tool list, let's say you have a level 9 local guide account in Google Business Profile, you can report, and it will be helpful for you to actually remove this type of negative reviews as well. And one more thing is the review answers. Try to actually use these contextual answers as much as possible, aligning them with your title text in the website, because your website and your Google Business Profile, one of them is trying to rank for the web, the other one is trying to rank for the map. So if you're able to align them as in an entity-oriented way, it will be amplifying your ranking possibility even in a better way as well. With that said, second section, it mainly focuses on the technical optimization in the healthcare SEO. There are different type of user agents here. One that I want to mention here is Google Other. So no one actually focused on this, but there's a new user agent. It mainly focuses on the research and development. There are many websites that actually I need to mention in this case study. And for instance, DCOM is one of them, but it will be a future article, because this website was losing rankings for the last 2.5 months, and for just last 5 months we deleted many pages, added some new, and we were able to actually reverse the ranking states gradually and slowly. This is the first time that in the last 2.5 years the website actually gained new queries and new rankings. The important thing here is that if your website has won the core update from the 15th of August, you can actually see this Google Other agent a lot. If you see this, it means that your website has been used for internal research. If it has more than 30% of the crawl allocation, it also means that actually this is even more important. Check this section, and also if they are hitting 404 URLs, make sure that they are also redirected to somewhere important too. If you have too many 404s, they will remove your website from these tests. It's better to being tested for these new AI features as much as possible rather than being actually delayed for that part. Again, if we come to do some other sections like Google Extended, usually people try to block this from robots.txt. I suggest you to try to be more tolerant because if you're able to use by Gemini API and if you're able to satisfy users, Google will actually try to understand your website better. Since they focus on AI, if you allow them to being tested, being used for also internal research and the AI type of features, it will be helpful for you to actually gain further prioritization in some certain type of, let's say, value understanding for your website. Again, there are some metrics that I would like to mention here. One of them is response time optimization. As I always say, try to aim under 100 milliseconds for that. For DOM size, try to aim under 900 elements. For semantic HTML, always use semantic HTML, especially for your parent HTML parent elements. User agent analysis, I probably will be doing a separate maybe case study just for user log analysis. But the thing is, try to see whether Google is coming from this, Googlebot other, Googlebot extended, or some other areas too. Try to focus on mainly the Google smartphone and Google other. Right now, it will be more helpful. Try to return any 302, 404, or 410 to the actually a kinds of 301 that makes sense. And for log file analysis too, you might be having very good amount of unnecessary URL hits. This is something that I always check. Let's say your website has just 10,000 products, but in your log files we see 800,000 different URLs, and only, let's assume, 5,000 of them are from your product pages. In this case, the search engine probably remembers many old URLs, and you should try to actually remove this from your log files by cleaning it. And there is also a new case study need for that, because this is a very detailed, a different type of case study. I try to put usually 1000 URLs to the sitemap. If you are able to chunk your sitemaps, it will be better for you to actually optimize your rankings in a better way. And there are many other things here that I suggest you to check for web security optimization or DNS prefetch or let's say pre-connect. For instance, if it is not about the content, use DNS prefetch. If it is about the content, use pre-connect. They are two different things. I suggest you to check the difference between them to understand it further. Never skip this security optimization as well, at least with your response headers. Always activate a PWA for your website. It will be helpful for you to actually optimize further and more frequent Google hits. When it comes to structured data, I have given some structured data samples as well, and I also have given some simple examples for dynamic rendering too. To go a little bit better, let me explain a few concepts here. CSS refactoring means that actually you are trying to decrease the amount of the CSS selectors on your website. Even you can use ChatGPT right now. I have created many agents, GPT agents for my community. One of them actually focus on CSS refactoring, which means you give your HTML. From HTML, we get all the list of CSS selectors. You give them your CSS. It checks which selectors are used and it cleans the CSS for that page type. If you have certain type of product pages, you can create a product CSS, and product CSS doesn't have to use the unused CSS selectors in this case. And JavaScript reshaking means that you are trying to remove unused functions, unused variables. Basically, it is also really helpful for increasing your crawl efficiency. Anything that is not relevant to the content should be also deferred, especially for JS. When it comes to the dynamic rendering, it's a long story. But basically, imagine you are able to show a clean version of your website by just checking actually the user agents. You say that if the user agent has the Googlebot, Linkbot, or some other of the other search engine crawling system user agents, you give a different HTML for it. And this HTML version can be very much cleaner than the other one. And again, there are other type of canonicalization or let's say cleaning suggestions. And of course, always try to use mainly these picture source set, because this will allow you to actually save really good amount of bandwidth. One another trick here is that try to put a WIF to the first version, use the JPG to the second version, because a WIF can't use EXIF data or license of the image, but JPG can use. This way you can show Google to actually JPG for EXIF and AWIF for the speed. When it comes to, I don't use WebP since it creates some indexation misunderstanding for some of the search engine crawling hits. And when it comes to the semantics, the most important part, until here actually it's just like a Bluehead case study with simple suggestions. After this point, I wanted to focus on one of the things that I didn't explain in a detail, at least by focusing on some certain type of detail. I have given actually just these two sentences as an example. The weather is nice today. I am planning to go for a walk in the park. Two simple sentences. One of them actually has 6 tokens. The other one has 12 tokens, which means that according to the NLP processes or natural language processing related tasks for these two sentences, our cost won't be same. When we say the cost of retrieval, it is mainly about how we can actually refine the index further by understanding the topicality, and also how we can create, let's say, different type of knowledge representations, whether triples, whether frame semantics or semantic row labels. And the process is not always same. That's why in this area I have tried to give some certain type of cost understanding. I didn't use CPU cost here in a detailed way, because to be able to show you any type of cost, the number here has to be really long after the comma or dot. So that's why I say 0, but it's not 0 actually. It's like 0.0001 type of number. But the main point here is that according to the token number, as you can see, the cost in terms of especially time cost, it will be increasing. The main point here is that whenever you are using a contextless word or unnecessary word, or whenever you are structuring your sentences in the wrong way, it will be causing you to tire the search engine. Let's say in your website you have 600 pages and 6 million sentences. To be able to process these 6 million sentences and create an information graphic from only your website, we have to perform all these NLP related tasks, whether machine translation, whether part of speech tag, whether, let's say, core reference resolution or entity linking, or different type of NLP tasks will be performed here. Here I have given different type of aggregated and guessed costs for different type of tasks. For named entity recognition, this might be the cost, and for post tagging, this might be the cost. What the search engine will be doing firstly is whether you are worth to understand, you are worth to actually being processed or not. That's why sometimes you see that some websites, suddenly they get actually all the feature snippets, or they also use it because search engine finds a more efficient, more accurate, and cheaper to rank, cheaper to understand web source on the web. So here we explain this concept slightly. Then I actually focus on how to create a topical map. In this case, I also have created a simple table. Let's say you are an e-commerce health website, or dentist, optometrist, dietitian, hospital, clinic, doctor, or whatever. Anything that actually related to your source context, it will be affecting what type of pages you will be having. According to the types of the pages and what functions these pages have, how you approach these topics will need to be actually changing. For instance, if you talk about what is the main reason for the cancer, we will be giving a certain type of course, answer here. But your answer has to be connected to what you do. You should always justify why you are ranking there. You shouldn't just actually chase the traffic, but search engines should know and understand your business, and they should create a relevance from your business entity and the topic. If your entity is not related to topic, you will be just forcing the search engine based on relevance and page rank, but eventually they will be dropping the website from there. This is one of the reasons that many affiliate sources are actually losing traffic, because they are wall websites in my terminology, which means you are looking the wall is looking at to you. It doesn't have a function, it's just a text with a wall. And also another thing is the topical map is not list of keywords, it's not list of entities, or not list of also topics. It mainly explains actually which topics will be on the same page, in what format, and where they will be linking to. And in this format, what type of functions and components and content types and contexts will be processed in what order. It is a kind of coordinate structure and organization for our future content. And in this case, if it is an e-commerce, what you will be internally linking from the reason of the cancer will be changing according to your source. If you are an e-commerce, you will be linking something else. If you are, let's say, a hospital or clinic, you will be linking something else in this case. Your topical map will be changing according to that. And I am explaining these here, plus also what type of questions should be followed, or components should be followed after what type of components. It also has been explained in these specific sections. In the last part, I directly give the 5 main components in the topical maps, and many SaaS owners, they try to cooperate with me lately. And before cooperating with any type of SaaS, I would like to train them about the truth about this terminology. I created this concept, I invented it, but lately it started to become like a buzz term. Everyone tries to use it for just selling purposes to increase the evaluation of their SaaS, while also taking really good amount of investments from the investors. But it should serve a purpose in a functioning way. Here I also give some website examples and local SEO context too, because as you know, Oscar Wiley, this is the first time that it is passing OPSM AU. And here I also have given some examples about how you can read the SERP and how you can actually create a kinds of topical map by just reading the SERP a little bit. Then I have also given an example mainly from the chiropractor. This is a raw topical map. Let's say we first actually get certain type of entities from a certain type. If you look at these things, these are anatomy terms that are relevant to the chiropracticism or chiropractors. And then we get commercial terms, mainly actually for, again, chiropractors, especially for localities. Then we bridge them to each other. These are directly about chiropractor. These are about location. These are about anatomy. That is always connected to chiropractors one more time. So if you want to actually process these three different lists of entities to form a kind of topical map, you will need to understand which section actually can be connected to the which another area. When I say the author segment, if you read this section, you will see that every topical map has 5 components. One is core, second one is author section. Author section is not directly for monetization. It's mainly for actually more historical data. Historical data means that clicks or text over or query sessions or any type of query log sessions and search engine result page behavior that the search engines are actually following through the years. If you're able to get more impressions and if the search engine is confident enough to test your website, and if you're able to pass the quality tests, relevance tests, you will be starting to actually increase your ranking further and further. This is mainly about that. And in this case, this author section allows you to gather more historical data and flow your relevance to the core section where you are trying to make money. That's why in this methodology, you don't always need external links because you use mainly historical data with user behaviors and query log sessions to trigger this ranking. But if you use external PageRank, of course, this process will be fastened because to trust a website, search engines mainly have 2 signals, user behaviors or again, users from a different angle, which means links or your mentions and a sentiment around these links or meaning or context around these links and mentions. So if you use historical data, still it will be working, but it will be just slightly working in this case or slower it will be working. And then I explain you how you can merge these author and core sections with each other by focusing on the attributes of the chiropractor like certificate. After that, we give certain type of entities again for that. Then we explain a little bit how you can use our agents and how you can actually start to create this topical map. For instance, for the entity of the back pain treatment, directly you will see that there are some sub-connections for them. Acute back pain, chronic back pain, lower back pain, upper back pain, middle back pain, mechanical back pain, radicular pain, or many other things. So does it mean that you have to open 20 pages just for the back pain treatment? No. It doesn't mean that. That's why I'm telling that topical map is the best form of knowledge representation for highest possible relevance. In this case, you will need to understand that actually, when you look at, for instance, in this area, let me just find the section, back pain causes and treatments should be a local agnostic web page, which means it should be a page about the subject rather than a locality. To connect it to the core section of the topical map for monetization purposes, a back pain treatment New York City page should be created. Then, does it mean that we should also open pages for New York acute back pain treatment and lower back pain treatment, etc.? No. You should always consolidate ranking signals as much as possible, which means you should open less or fewer pages. The intersection between entities of acute back pain treatment New York City and back pain treatment New York City doesn't have enough level of documents or query search logs to construct a new index. This is advanced. If you watch this lecture from Prabhakar Raghavan, who is actually vice president of Google currently, many people criticize him, but this speech is from 10 years ago. Here he explains actually semantics on the web and how the indexes are constructed based on the document and query statistics. If there is not enough level of documents on the web, it won't be creating actually a new index. And in this case, we also see that the semantic distance between back pain and acute pain are very close to each other. In this case, they can actually co-appear together in a page without diluting your relevance. In this case, they will actually be going to the same page, which means in the macro context, in the main content, you will have actually lower back pain treatment. And then in the other sections, you will have actually this acute back pain or other types of the back pains, and you will be explaining them. And you'll be using some internal links to the other sections to actually flow these relevance as much as possible. You will also be linking your actual backpain treatment New York City localization page from that area too. And probably I explained it somewhere here. Let me read it for you. Yeah. Every topical map should stay dynamic and change according to the indexes of the search engines. This requires an always-on checking schedule with a semantic SEO expert and routine. Still, the acute back pain can be a separate page, but not alone. It has to be a single page together with lower back pain because their semantic distance to each other is shallow. After you review all these combinations and possible intersections, you start designing the heading, video, image, paragraph, list table, CTA, and page link distribution in these content networks to construct the most lasting, higher quality, lower cost semantic content network. Which means that once you get this raw topical map, you will need to understand what type of a knowledge representation actually you can create for your own local business. In this case here, as you see, this was also a local, not local actually, this is an e-commerce site. Mainly for, sorry, I guess there is a problem with my payment system for the premium. Basically, in this one, it will be focusing on 27 articles that we published and we outranked directly with Medical News Today or Healthline or WebMD. It was an e-commerce site just about luxurious water, and Jamal Qureshi explained how we did it together like 6 months ago. And there are other examples here. This is drstacey.com, which means doctor site for appointments for the doctors. This website also was losing rankings. Then we actually deleted the unnecessary pages. It starts to increase its rankings. The good thing here is that at the 15th of August, its competitor lost the update. We actually won it. The thing is, usually in the core updates, if both of the main competitors win the core update, it means that it is a cluster to cluster comparison. If your competitor loses and you win, it's inside the cluster comparison. Different core updates actually perform different type of ranking volatilities. You should understand this first. Sometimes all the affiliate sources can lose rankings. Usually if it happens, one representative stays there, like Forbes, which got manual penalty lately, because algorithmically demoting it is very hard. It's a very high page rank source. And another one here is that I explained diamondrehab.thailand.com. I published that case and success story way earlier, and it also won the core update, and it was hit with the helpful content update. It's coming back. The important thing here is that even if you don't change anything sometimes, again, it might be coming back like this. It's not a problem at all. But also it means that to be able to coming back, if you are able to define or refine your sentences, your topical maps always on, you'll be increasing your chance of ranking actually even further. These are the results of the Welzo. Right now it's in the all high time section. And what happened in this area? If you look at my technical SEO related parts, you will again see this. Website created unnecessary pages a lot. And it actually allocated or forced the search engine to allocate more crawling hits. Initially, it worked well. Then they removed most of these pages after adding them. As you can see, 400,000 crawl hits a day. This is the first time, 10 times more. If you get this type of a crawling allocation, you have to make it justified. If you don't, you will be losing rankings. Right now, we will be focusing on actually fixing these unnecessary pages and communicating with the search engine because there is not 800,000 products here, which is a problem. Right now it is working, but in the future it won't be working. That's why these type of things can be used. I mean, if you increase your website 10 times more, it will be creating actually a ranking good at the beginning. But if the content is not good, it will be causing you to lose rankings. Again, I will show you an e-commerce example, not health. The same problem happened here too because the developer team actually duplicated the site 2 times. It became way much bigger. Then we started to clean the other URLs. Again, it started to come back in a similar way. This is what I call a new concept, not that new, but I use it sometimes, search engine tolerance. They can tolerate you until a while, but after a point, if you keep repeating these, they will actually delete your source. And for that, Strike That Money is a really good example. As you know, this is a new SEO case that I published this year. It's a brand new site. It doesn't lose rankings, content here and content here is same. If you look at my source YouTube channel, you will see it directly. But let's check the crawl stats. You will see that crawl starts from 40,000 crawl hits to a day to the 3,000. What happened, do you think, actually? What caused that? We have 400 pages indexed, 40,000 index crawl hits. It means that the search engine actually, as I say, we didn't use links here at all. Complete the search engine starts to gather impressions, on the site. They started to do minimal tests. Then they actually do all these NLP tasks and tests on the website. They like the results. Then they actually, with a core update, increase your rankings. Then they assume that you will keep with the same quality. That's why they assign high level of actually query crawl hits for you, which means your website is being prioritized. Remember, search engine tolerance is a concept that I use to explain how tolerant the search engine will be for you, even if you actually make mistakes like publishing 2 unnecessary pages or doing slightly spammy things. The second one is actually search engine prioritization. They will be prioritizing your website if they crawl 40,000 times a website with 400 pages. Then what happened here? If you look at here, I always have KPIs in this area. I always say this will need to be like 99%, 98 at least. And again, smartphone, as I say, is a good one. Discovery is 2%. They stopped publishing new content. That was the main problem in this website. And you used opportunity window here because, as I say, there are 3 ranking states: negative, natural, positive. If you are in the positive ranking state, you should keep publishing. If you stop, if the search engine realizes that, they won't be actually coming back that frequently again. So indexations will be slower. New query rankings will be way harder. And if this website does a mistake like that right now, if this website publishes 800,000 pages mistakenly, search engine will be decreasing their rankings really quickly and fast. They won't be tolerating it right now. Your tolerance also will be decreased. So there are many things that I explained here. We mainly focused on the health, of course, but there are many other contexts. To be honest, there are many case studies that I will be publishing this year, and I will be in Cyprus and Chiang Mai SEO. We will be doing multiple meetups in these areas. For instance, bkmbook.com, as you know, it's in the all-time high currently. We increased our rankings 2 times in these 3 months because we changed CMS and some other stuff here. There is an effect, and this is a core update winning effect directly there. Or this one is a really good one, and we are coming to the 1 million clicks amount point right now quickly. We are working over 1.5 years right now, and it came to this area. And this is a holistic SEO case study as well. And for that, I suggest you to read this case study that I have written way earlier. And also try to understand dynamic organization of content. This is a concept from Google. When there is a concept like electricity, they get the main attributes and they focus on all of it. Same actually happens for your entity as well. If you are a business like, let's say, Velzo, founder of Velzo, products of Velzo, categories of Velzo, address of the Velzo, there are many attributes. And for all images, news, videos, or whatever, you should always be relevant to your main subject, your main topic, as much as possible. Once you have it, you will eventually be outranking many competitors. The only thing here is that, as you know, Google is ruthless, which also brings me another concept I created: search engine unfairness. As you know, many websites, they had to wait 11 months after the helpful content update. And it's not that easy to wait 11 months until you see a reversal in the ranking state. This is the transcriptor.com here. Actual traffic is way higher, as you already know that. And also there are many other websites that actually started to increase their rankings. I would like to also show Holistic SEO that digital. I don't do SEO for this website. It was also affected by the helpful content update. It came back. I did, not that much, to be honest. So in this case, I would like to tell a few more things. In my community, I really value friendship, helping each other, and sharing the knowledge as much as possible. And I suggest you to do the same. Try to join our community through our newsletter or Facebook group or Twitter or whatever you want. We will be happy to see you also in our course. You can also check all these testimonials, video testimonials or written testimonials or success shares, as in this area. There are many of them. And this year, I would like to actually share some of other GPT agents and new courses and new lectures inside the course and new Python codes and scripts as the code labs like this for forecasting or something. For instance, this is the zenarmor.com, or it was Sunnyvalley, and I did this actually years ago, and we aimed just 30,000 clicks amount. Right now it's actually 65,000, and we are trying to aim something like 1 million clicks amount if we are able to start translation of the website for other languages and also increase page rank for every region. It will be happening as well because we have enough level of search demand. This year or next year, early next year, I will be also publishing some new books. So you can accept this video like a returning back. There will be new ones separately that focus on some new subjects, and you can use this video like an anchor. And check the Blue Hat SEO video series from our channel as well. With that said, I am in Kusadasi. If you would like to visit me, just let me know. One day I am sure that we'll be side by side and having new memories together. Thank you for watching and see you the next time.